Hello everyone, myself Sadhana S. Kumar, studying at Maharaja Institution of Technology and pursuing my MCA. This project is on overview of servlet and servlet lifecycle method, a topic in advanced Java programming, under the guidance of Professor Subramanya R.A. Content: servlet lifecycle diagram, methods of lifecycle, that is init, service, do get, do post, destroy. Servlet. Servlet in Java class which extends the functionality of web server by dynamically generating web pages. Servlet technology is used to create dynamic web applications. Servlet technology is robust and scalable. Before Servlet, Common Gateway Interface scripting language was popular as servlet-side programming language. Servlet lifecycle. First init state, and then it is servlet in service, then destroy. Servlet lifecycle init. Servlet class is loaded. The class loader is responsible to load the servlet classes. The servlet class is loaded when the first request for the servlet is received by the web container. Servlet instance is created. The web container creates the instance of servlet after loading the servlet class. The servlet instance is created only once in the servlet lifecycle. Init method is invoked. The web container calls the init method only once after creating the servlet instance. The init method is used to initialize servlet. Syntax: public void int servlet configuration throws servlet exception. Servlet lifecycle services. The service method in the main method is the main method to perform the actual task. The servlet container calls the service method to handle requests coming from the client to the right to response back to the client. Each time the server receives a request for a servlet, the server sparks a new thread and calls receive. Syntax: public void service. Servlet request servlet response throws servlet exceptions IO exceptions. Servlet lifecycle service. The service method checks the HTTP request type, get, post, put, delete, etc. and calls do get, do post, do put, do delete, etc. Methods appropriate. The do get and do post are most frequently used methods within each service request. Service do get. A get request results from request for a URL or from an HTML form should be handled by do get method. Syntax: public void do get HTTP servlet request HTTP servlet response throws servlet exceptions IO exceptions. Service do post. A post request result from an HTML form from the especially list post has a method and it should be handled by do post method. Syntax: public void do post HTTP servlet request HTTP servlet response throws servlet exceptions IO exceptions. Difference between do get and do post method. Do get method. In case of get request, only limited amount of data can be sent because data is sent in header. Do post. In case of post request, large amount of data can be sent because data is sent in body. Get request is not scalable because data is responsible in URL bar. Post request is secure because data is not exposed in URL bar. Get request can be bookmarked. Post request cannot be bookmarked. Get request is independent. It means second request will be ignored until response of first request is delivered. Post request is not independent. Get request is more efficient and used more than post. Post request is less efficient and less used than get. Do get and do post methods application. Do get shall be used when small amount of data and insensitive data like a query has to be sent the request. Do post shall be used when comparatively large amount of sensible data has to be sent. Example: sending data after filling up the form of sending login and password. Servlet lifecycle destroy. The destroy method is called only once at the end of the life cycle of a servlet. This method gives your servlet a chance to close database connection, halt background to thread, write cookie list or hit count to disk, and perform other such cleanup activities. After the destroy method is called, the servlet object is marked for garbage collections. Syntax: public void destroy. Finalize code. Thank you.